Okay, there are tefillin is a commandment to put on tefillin. These are sayings by the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, which were compiled by our Rebbe, so his son-in-law. So there's a commandment in the Torah to put on tefillin. What is tefillin? Tefillin is mentioned 4 times in the Torah. So to take those 4 paragraphs where tefillin is written, is mentioned, and write them on a parchment and put them in a box and put them on your head and on your arm. Okay, how exactly this is done? God explained this to Moses on Mount Sinai. On the head, there has to be 4 separate parchments. On the hand, is supposed to be written on one long parchment. Okay, 4 paragraphs. What is the order of these paragraphs? In what order do you write them? You say, well, it doesn't make any difference. Just put the 4 in there, and then that's it. Well, says, no, that's not what God said to Moses. Okay, but what did God say to Moses? Oh, so there was a bit of an argument about how this comes down, because the Jews always put on tefillin, right? As soon as the Torah was given, they put on tefillin. There's a whole question: what did they do in the desert? But nevertheless, they put on tefillin, right? So the question is, what is the order of these tefillin? So Rashi had one order that was passed down to him by his father and his father and his father. It was passed down. So you put tefillin of Rashi, but then there's another order where there's 2 of the Torah portions are exchanged. One was in the first becomes the last, and one's in the last becomes the first. That's another one. That's called Rebbeinu Tam. Now, all of these these are not because of uncertainty. This is according to spiritual configurations which are evoked, which are drawn down by means of our putting on tefillin. So the main one is Rashi. Okay, but the fact that, so there's Rashi is one order of these 4 portions. And then there's another one which is called Rebbeinu Tam. But there's also 2 other orders. And one of them deals with the order of the Torah portions. The other one deals mostly with the size of the boxes. Okay, so here we go. So first of all, you put Rashi on your hand and your head. That's what we say, and we pray the whole prayer. That's what we read at Rashi. Then we remove, after we finish praying in the morning, this is what religious Jews, at least what we do in Chabad, we remove the Rashi tefillin from the head, and we put on, then we put on Rebbeinu Tam tefillin. Right, we put on Rebbeinu Tam tefillin, but not so fast. There's something in between. First of all, you take the Rashi tefillin off of your head. You leave the hand tefillin of Rashi, and you put on another type, which is called Shmusha Rabbe. So you have Rashi tefillin in the morning. You pray your whole prayer with it. Then you take off the head tefillin of Rashi, and you put on another, but you leave the hand there, leave the arm, and you put on Shmusha Rabbe, another order of. Then you say Psalms, you say the Psalms, etc. Some people would say also, then you take off both of them, the Shmusha Rabbe from the head and the Rashi from the arm, take that off, put it away. And then that's when you put on the Rebbeinu Tam tefillin. That's a different order of the Torah portions in the head and in the arm. And then you take off the head of Rebbeinu Tam, and you put on another order, which is called the Ravad. That's another order. Okay, here's just explaining what we do. So it ends up that you have, right? Not everybody in Chabad does this. And, it's not important. Some people say everybody should do it, and some people, everybody shouldn't do it. So you have Rashi tefillin on your head and on your arm. You take off the head tefillin of Rashi, and you put on what's called Shmusha Rabbe. Then you take both of them off and put on Rebbeinu Tam tefillin. Then you take the head tefillin of the Rebbeinu Tam off, and you put on Ravad. And these are 4 different orders of configurations of blessings that come down to us. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said that every Jew should put on, at least every Jew in Chabad, should put on Rashi and Rebbeinu Tam. And there's some people that are extra with these 2 extra head tefillin as well. Okay, that is the Yom Yom for today. Now let's have a story.